What's good with YouTube? You already know Big Flacco with a convict's perspective, and I'm gonna smash, dash, and slide on through that little bit of energy. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all those things to help support your boy, and hit that bell notification for future fire content, man. You know what I'm bringing, man. So, I like to do a lot of throwback stories and elaborate on certain things maybe that I missed. And so I'm going to talk about the day Operation Black Widow, hit the indictments. And not the first one, the second one, when everybody got hemmed up out there in the streets. See, as I've discussed this, and sometimes I'm sorry I reiterate and repeat certain things, but for those that are watching the channel for the first time, it enables them to understand a little bit more. So I was an unusual case where I was out there during pre-Black Widow and post-Black Widow. I was one of the very few people who wasn't put on freeze afterwards. There was a lot of people during Operation Black Widow that were out there in the streets who didn't get caught up in the indictments that were put on freeze automatically. I was the only one who had two channels. Well, actually three. I had four channels basically at that time, but really two main ones. Where my channels, two of them had flipped, which was Robert Chico Rose and fucking Asha Lee. Asha Lee Lizard's the one that plugged me in with the regiment through Carlitos and Wino while he was in Corcoran. They gave him my information to tap in with me. So now previously, before all this happened, right, I was getting more involved in the mix. I was moving a lot of product, man. I became more closer with Chico. Whereas before, when I first met him, he was going to have these other homeboys that were out there in the streets, serve me and work with me. It went from that, from me, to me being ahead of all them. Why? Because they were not as productive as he anticipated. They were owing money, all kinds of different things like that, And I met some dudes that were working with them, that were working with Goose's crew. I knew Goose from San Quentin, right? Romero Garcia. I did not know him from the streets. Never functioned with him, but I functioned with his manpower. So I was with Chico Rose, and at that time, we started kicking a lot. We'd go to the fucking fairgrounds and shit. Me and him, we'd go park at Flip's body shop across the way, man. Go over there, fucking pull some broads, go up to a motel, and just do our thing. You know what I mean? We became more close. I'd go to barbecues. This is when I first was with my ex-wife at the time, my daughter's mother. I'd go over there. That's where I met Gabe Garchoa, G Money, met Flip over there, met all kinds of other people. We'd be barbecuing and chilling, man. Even afterwards, when Chico got locked up, I'd pick up Gabe in Salinas or in Prunedale when he lived right there off of the freeway 101. I'd take him all the way out there to visit Chico. So I was tight and close with a lot of his people, due to him. And so what ended up happening is prior to this, I've discussed this to where the FBI went over to his house, and I'm over there picking up work, like about a pound of dope or something like that. And he's looking off the fucking screen like this and shit. And I'm like, dude, is he tweaking? He goes, the feds came by and they asked me if I could help myself. And we had already read in the paperwork when Courtney and all them got fucking indicted. You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't think nothing of it. Then out of nowhere, I ended up plugging in with a homeboy. I'm going to say Chiniquas. That's his code name, right? So this homeboy used to go by Chiniquas. I used to go by Sticks. Chico used to go by Soldier. There's a whole bunch of people that we had different names out there in the streets. Mine was Sticks or Palitos, right? So me and Chiniquas, we became close. We ran into each other. First time we ran into each other, we didn't really talk. We ran into each other at East Ridge, and he had a star right here on his head. And so he was with a homeboy, Black Steve. And me and Black Steve go way back to like the Juvenile Hall Boys Branch days where we didn't really like each other that much. But we did. It was weird. But then me and Black Steve became like this. So, Black Steve was just, asking me questions, and I was playing a dummy role. But little did they know I was plugged into the regiment. One day, Soldier, Chico's at my house. And next thing you know, he calls the homeboy Chiniquas. He says, yeah, slide through. Chiniquas slides through with a bunch of females. And now it was the fucking same person that I seen at East Ridge. And we're like, okay. So me and him became real close. He's one of my close friends for like the early years of Black Widow. So we're there. And next thing you know, Operation Black Widow hits. We can't get in contact with nobody. Chiniquas calls me up. We meet up over there off of McKee and King Road, right? And I needed some work. And so next thing you know, we waited for about an hour, 2 hours. Next thing you know, Gato sends his cousin Listo, right? So then we go and meet up. And so next thing you know, we're relying on fucking people like Gato and Black Steve to go communicate with Goose and Skip and all them because they were in charge of the San Jose regiment. And that's why a lot of our directives were coming straight through them, you know. So in the beginning stages, it was really confusing, you know what I'm saying? And no one knew what exactly to do. We were getting a lot of information from those who had never been to prison, but we were also assisting, still sending money. And that's at the time when all that happened. I didn't know who to reach out to. I started reaching out to fucking Carlitos and shit. And there's only so much I can say, but I'm writing. You know what I'm saying? And then Wino touched base with me when he got out. And Wino was a captain, but yet he was giving me information to send to them, and they were giving me information back. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't telling them any of our activities. You know what I'm saying? It was so secretive what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? And Wino was opening up to me about a lot of stuff, right? But I didn't know who to fucking follow. You know what I'm saying? I reached out to Chico, and Chico told me to remain with who I was. At first, Chico, when I brought Gabe up there, Gabe came back from a visit. He said, bro, he goes, he's pissed off. He said that they knew these indictments were coming. You know what I'm saying? You did enough, homie. He goes, go over there and fucking go back to your family and worry about your family, your future kids coming. I'm like, nah, Gabe. I go, I'm in it to win it, bro. And that's why I pretty much had got this on my neck, in it to win it with a star. And I'm like, nah. He's like, you know what I'm saying? And then so for a long time I was communicating with Gabe. Even after fucking Chico ended up fucking flipping, we realized I still was. But during that time here, all the money that was owed, the filters were coming out for us to go pick up money from people that owed. And so that's when me and the homeboy Chiniquas, and he's not from fucking San Jose either. And so me and him for about fucking weeks, I'd get off work. I worked at 9 to 5 at the time. And I would go pick him up, and then we'd go debt collect. We'd go look for homeboys from BMLs, from 12th Street, from fucking Capitol Park, all these different neighborhoods, man. And we go collect it. You know what I mean? That's the same time when you had the little red on red conflict that Skip and them asked us to intervene on between Palomas and Mas Locals. And, you know, like I said, all these directives were not coming, they were coming fucking through another fucking source. And sometimes we were starting to question certain things. So, you know, and that's around the time when they came to my house. I remember fucking, what's his name had just left my house. Wino had just left my house, and fucking Black Steve was there, and Homeboy Monster was there. And fucking, you know, Wino was fucking, Wino looked straight well. Like you think, okay, skinny dude. He's wearing Nike Cortezes, a tank top, jeans, and he has a fucking hairnet on, man. I swear to God, I'm like, fuck, man. I meet him at the fucking Valero right there on Berryessa and Capitol. I'm like, dude, this dude looks like he's all on Front Street. And then he's with his brothers who look like just straight fucking white boys. So we go to my house, and I float him 2 pounds of dope. You know what I mean? He goes to help out the Modesto regiment at that time. So as we're sitting there posted up, man, fucking, here comes Gato. Here comes the homeboy Chiniquas gets there. And see, Chiniquas I used to help out a lot because he didn't have no family. And, you know, this was a fucked up situation. You know, Gato kind of pretty much got him put on freeze by fucking Brass because he was pushing, he was just didn't like him, I guess. I don't know what it was. So this is the first time I met Charlie Campa. They all come to my house. And then Charlie pulls me aside, you know, goes, you know, what's his name from Hollis Street? Goes, hey, we got to put this dude on freeze real quick. Let's do what we got to do then. And so fucking put him on freeze. And I wasn't really supposed to communicate with him, but I felt bad. So I still communicated because I know Chiniquas did nothing wrong. See, Chiniquas was security, right? For when they were having those meetings at the Motel 6 in Tracy, when Chico brought his own security. You know what I'm saying? That's talked about. Chico's the only one that brought security. Now, everybody that attended those meetings, including those that were security, got indicted by Homeboy. So that made fucking someone put a certain comment into someone else's ear, and that's when fucking they put him on freeze. Unjust. And that's why him and fucking Gato ended up having issues. So now I have my dude that I trust, you know what I'm saying, and along with Black Steve. You know, Black Steve was communicating with Skip, and fucking Gato was communicating with Goose. And so what they decided to do was they brought Chiniquas back. They put Chiniquas over here with the team they called the Raider team, which consisted of him and Skip. No, I mean, Skip was running that crew. And it was like fucking, you know, Charlie Campa, Black Steve, Chiniquas, and a few others. Then they had me over here, and it was me, Gato, Listo, Jack Frost, and fucking Skip's nephew was over here. So it's kind of interesting that the crew that was that Skip wasn't running was his nephew was actually, and I actually became real close with his nephew. So me and his nephew started doing our thing out there, and we started seeing a lot of shit that homeboy Cat was doing. And you know what I'm saying? And we kind of took a stance against it out there on the streets. And the thing was, is like, we're like, man, they don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Only we do. And that's when it's even talked about in fucking, what do you call Cat in Boxer's book, man, when fucking Demetrius fucking pretty much fucking took old homeboy for like fucking like, I don't know how many pounds, man. It was fucking funny. And it was more like a rub it in your face. You know what I'm saying? Because he went AWOL, he took off, he was trying to tax us and put all these, he was trying to fucking high end us big time. Like give us the product and making this much for himself and then expecting this much back. You know what I'm saying? For us to make the dudes happy over there, fucking Goose. And I was like, nah, it doesn't work that way. And fucking, I think it was me and fucking D. We went out into his liquor store, and fucking his cousin was there, and I fucking started tearing his cousin off like verbally, like, you know what I'm saying, checking his ass. And I said, this is all we're gonna give. Boom. I said, you know what? Tell them to fucking, this is for fucking Goose and them. It was like about, I think $1,500 for the month. You know what I'm saying? Which was all the dudes that were working with me. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much I was running a crew with fucking homeboy, but homeboy was communicating, and he was being the resource for the dope. You know what I'm saying? But I'm working with all the manpower. And so me and fucking D, like we had our own little regiment bank and stuff like that. Homeboy would hold it. And fucking D, man, when me and D were together, man, it caused a lot of havoc out there in San Jose at times because we would be doing too much. You know what I'm saying? And this was a dude that had been functioning all the way back to when fucking, I mean, that's Skip's nephew. You know what I'm saying? He was functioning with him when he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So me and him were real close. And, you know, that's what was going on during Operation Black Widow. Eventually, Cat left us fucking MIA, you know what I'm saying, and went all the way to fucking Texas because he found out Goose flipped and Chico flipped, and he abandoned basically his fucking responsibilities. And then that's when I went over there and met with Charlie, fucking Charlie's brother, fucking Sapo, fucking who was up in C4 with fucking Skip, and who else? Or was it Turtle? A couple other ones, and I wrote a whole little report, and it was to go to Skip. And so we sent Black Steve up there. And Skip didn't even care about what we wrote. He said the dude's, it's a rap for him. And that's when I found out when I was in San Quentin in 2002 with Lento and all them that, you know, Gato had been deemed no good. And basically because of what happened. And then that's when fucking they find him. And that's how when I got out, I was talking to Gato, I was talking to everybody in San Jose, but I pulled away from them dudes because of all the bullshit that I seen. I didn't like what I was experiencing. And that's when Salinas snatched me up. And then the people that were working with me, they snatched up, because if they were working with me, then you're working with Boxer and Salinas. And that's how I ended up plugging in with Boxer back then, man. But there was so much stuff that was going on, man, that some stuff I can talk about, some stuff I won't. You know what I'm saying? There was a minute to where fucking we were looking for any hermanos that were like NR members to come and function with us out there on the streets. You know, which wasn't mandatory. But so we were going and we met up with Big John from 12th Street. We were looking for Tavo, and we were looking for Toko and a couple other people out there to plug in with us and stuff. And this is when, you know, we were plugged in with Lowdown. You know what I'm saying? At the time, Lowdown, fucking Toxtedo was plugged in. He was signed under Big Things Entertainment with fucking Gato. Tiny Lopes from Merced. And there was a whole lot of different individuals. And see, what people don't realize, when I talk about in the past, about how we were given directives to find people like Woody and plug in with different rappers, you know, go find Sir Dino, which we found Sir Dino. Sir Dino can confirm that. David Rocha, how they met up in a restaurant out there in Tracy. I told Dino everything. We even had him come out to Morgan Hill one time. You know what I'm saying? Directives started to change though. The reason why we had so many directives were because we were the best ones in contact with fucking Brass at the time. We had two dudes going in there visiting. You know what I'm saying? So these dudes were coming out with directives. All we were doing was facilitating the communication, okay? This dude, hey, you need to tap in with them. This dude, hey, you need to tap in over here. And that's all we did. It wasn't fucking us acting on our own authority or anything. And we never even went looking for Woody. That was like the last priority. You know what I'm saying? And even Pastor Rocha said that Black Steve told him that every rapper's going to have to contribute. And because we were being told that. Straight up. So what was going on was all these dudes that were out there in the streets that were part of regiments and had their own crews. Now they were plugged into different people up in the Bay or whatnot. we told them to fucking leave their channels, and now they were going to plug directly in. That's what happened. And that's where a lot of the power struggle started to occur, because the Bay don't know what's going on. They're only being told what's being told. And these dudes are all leadership. They're doing their own thing. They're all the captains are here, and they're having votes and everything, making amends to the Constitution, all kinds of things, because that's what the Constitution says. You know what I mean? And there was a big backlash over that, because the ones that were taking charge up in the Bay were fucking Huerito, fucking Boxer from Selma, and who the fuck was the other one? Well, I want to say Conejo, but no, Conejo had got demoted. Those two for sure were put in positions up there in DC. That's who it was. DC, Boxer from Selma, and Huerito. By that time, fucking Conejo had already been demoted. You know what I'm saying? And so there was a lot of stuff going on, like I said, post Operation Black Widow. The whole reason why Chuco was in the county jail was to reestablish contact with them. You know what I'm saying? And he was pacifying his fellows in the Bay, because he already knew he was in a position to take a leadership position, but he was also fucking recognizing Brass over there in Santa Rita at the time. You know what I'm saying? Because we talked about a lot of things, because when it came back that Huicho was no good, he said Brass decided. So even in 2003, Chuco was still acknowledging Corning and all them as leadership. You know what I'm saying? Those are facts. Because we were in contact. I came out with fucking Huilas from Chuco. But Chuco was asserting his own little position in San Jose and some of the crews out there. So it was, like I said, it was a trying time. A lot of things were going on, man. You know, for like shit, I made hella sacrifices, man. We fucking smashed on dudes. We snatched dudes up. We had dudes from other hoods get snatched up. I mean, you know, there's some people I could sit there and put their business out there that are actually known in the game right now, that I can make them look fucking stupid to some of the shit that we did back then. But, you know, I'm going to take the higher road on that and just leave that alone. But as far as some of the major things going on out there, it was a lot was going on. A lot was expected of us, man. And, you know, that was part of being part of the, you know, pre and post Black Widow. So I was all there through it, there before and after. And I was confused at times. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't going to drop out. I wasn't going to fucking stop my responsibilities. I just didn't know who to trust. I swear to God, there was times where I did not know who to trust. And then I got Wino in my ear. Then he placed me with fucking Powder. Powder's not in communication with nobody at the time. So it was like, fuck, what do we do? You know what I'm saying? I'm helping all these other carnales, all these different regiments that are establishing regiments, but nobody's in contact. And I'm trying to put him in contact, but I can't trust the dude over here because he fucking leaves Texas. So I was thrust in the middle of a lot of it, man. You know? At the end of it, I ended up okay, of course. But there was a lot of stuff going on at that time. A lot. Anyways, you know, something different today. I got some rap songs I'm going to put together. I got something coming that's going to be hard. Watch. That's it. I'm gone.